Disney's Aladdin and Lion King. Some say it was a long-awaited nostalgic release. Many agree that this had to be one of the best re-releases this year. Published by Nighthawk Interactive, this collection was promised as a new revamp for those two classics and stapled with a price tag of €35. Sounds like a fine deal for two games, doesn't it? Well, I've had a few misses of choosing new games in the past, and let me tell you, this has to be one of the most disappointing re-releases, remaster, revamp, whatever this pile of donkey shit is I have ever tasted. But let's start with the good. Well, you have a lot of versions of those games in this collection. You have demos, final cuts, Nintendo and Sega version, plus Japanese edition as well. But it's basically the same game either ways. It's like going into a hospital visiting and choosing between those blue hospital shoes. No matter how long you pick, you still get a pair of blue shoes that someone else has worn before you. Now, what is actually different is the menu and add-ons. You get both making of videos and a music player. You get artwork, and to be honest, this truly is the best part of this release. You have all this nostalgic retro material to see how things were done. I love making of videos, and I love that this collection overall is a full collection. You have at least a half an hour of bonus videos and artwork, so I mean, it's a lovely touch. You can actually see the scanned versions of hand-drawn and handwritten blueprints for those games, movement animations and scales. It's actually quite amazing. And another best part of this re-release, or well, the last best part of this re-release. You have a save feature, and you can also rewind time, but I will come back to it. So as you start playing, the problem is obvious immediately. There are no changes in graphical and scaling options, meaning that I need to sit really close to my 60-inch TV just to see where I need to jump. Why on earth couldn't you upscale the resolution, or at least implement some sort of screen filling feature that wouldn't leave 3/4 of my TV unused? It's ridiculous. And the worst part yet, the gameplay. Yeah, well, you know, it stinks of re-release because it's just unplayable as it was in the 90s. Platforms that you need to precisely time to jump onto. Miss by a few pixels and you will fall. So they didn't fix those things either. But some might say that, but well, it's supposed to be hard, the same way as it was back in the day. Well, back in the day I wanted to throw the controller out of the window while playing both of those games. At least then they were attached to the console to make it impossible. Now, now it would be considered as a danger hazard. It's like in the old days, you needed to actually go outside and yell in front of your friend's window to see if he or she wanted to come out and play. Now we have the option to call. And if I would still practice yelling, I would get arrested in an instant. Disturbing the peace. That's what it's called right now. But excuse me, officer, I was only calling my friend to come outside. Well, now it's obstruction of justice as well. Some changes in the game need to happen. You know, it's desperately needed, especially when the foundation was difficult enough. Now the saving grace is the save feature. Whenever you feel like quitting the game, you can exit and save your progress. To continue later, you can also save your game on key points when you are doing mighty fine and you have struggled for 45 minutes and finally succeeded in catching the tail of a hippopotamus. And that right here is the magic of saving your game. Not only can you save your game, but you can also rewind time, even loading animation screens. Whenever you screw up, you probably will in every 20 seconds, you can just hold your magical L1 button and all your mistakes will be erased. Fantastic! I can actually see myself finishing those games now. Well, actually not. I even gave up then, because I'm not committed enough to put an hour into jumping on moving platforms to be bitten by bats at random moments. Overall, if you were a fan, you will love this edition because of its bonuses and videos and artwork. But for me, as a person who wanted to give another go to be convinced into loving it, it's just not worth that much money. Saving and rewinding features are lovely, the menu as well, but it's just not worth €35. You can get an ounce of silver and a sneaky Castro from Olga behind the gas station with that money. So in my opinion, I go with Olga and give this release a 4 out of 10. Despite my critical opinion, I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like, smash that bell, and if you dare, subscribe as well. I'm Sillyllamaz, and thanks for watching. Till next time.